We're now going to be talking about psychedelics, and I want to again read this disclaimer for you. The following information is not intended to replace the advice of your medical doctors. This is informative information for your review and education, and I encourage you to seek further information and consultation with your provider or pharmacy for any possible drug interactions and possible side effects. Please also seek consultation for the correct dosage and best ways for you to take any of these supplements and any of these psychedelics. So basically, guys, I have to say this just to cover myself with this. So I'm not telling you as I explain all of this, I'm not trying to be like, go out and take them. This is information for you to be able to look at, learn more about, and go and explore. And there are people who will be able to help you with this. So let's get on with talking about psychedelics. Psychedelics are a big topic that has been coming up lately. There's been a lot of research to support how much it can be helpful with work in PTSD, depression, anxiety, suicidality, just a lot of stuff. Now, a word of caution as we talk about all of this. This isn't just to like, oh, psychedelics are helpful. Let's just go take them and see what happens. For many of you, the thought of taking a psychedelic may be very anxiety provoking, and in the wrong environment, it should be. So as we talk about this, some of the main things that, so I've done a lot of training. I mean, I think at this point, I want to say 20 to 30 hours of it, but that's only a fraction. I've just kind of skimmed the surface of it as I was really interested in it and finding out more about how it could be of help to people. And so I want to share with you, in a very summed up version, just things to think about and also to be aware of if you're going to choose to explore this work. So some of the main ones that are often discussed about is MDMA, which is often referred to as ecstasy, LSD, also known as acid. The mushrooms, magic mushrooms, is also the other term is psilocybin. Try spelling that word, it's a bit difficult. Ayahuasca and peyote. So there may be more, and by the time you watch this video, there may be more out there, but those are a lot of ones that have been studied. Some of them have been like the ayahuasca and the peyote are often used in ceremonial, oh my gosh, what is the word I'm looking? Ceremony, for spiritual ceremony, religious ceremonies in the Native American community, also all over the world, and a lot of other indigenous populations that have been using it for years and years and years, like hundreds of years, so thousands of years. But a lot of clinicians have now come in. There's been a lot of research behind that and just supporting how to, and actually there's a series on Netflix, I believe it's called How to Change Your Mind. I will put a link here. And that's actually what made me explore this and want to find out more, because there's been a lot of work done that has just really, really helped people tremendously. And I think overall the message is it helps people to process the trauma and look at it in a way that it's almost like they're not in it. There's this distance where they can actually start to process and make sense of everything and come to a place of peace. I also forgot ketamine. That's another one that originally had been used with anesthesia. So it's like a light, almost like a light form of it. So with all of these and exploring them, number one, I would encourage you to do a lot of homework and education about this. So learn about them. And if this is something you're exploring, look into, okay, well, which one might be a good fit for me and why? And there's a lot of things to consider as well, such as your chemical makeup, your genetic makeup, history of yourself of any psychosis or bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or any of that you've had personally or family members have had. Some of them can be really intense on the body, like ayahuasca can be very like sometimes vomiting and diarrhea that happens with it. It just sounds pleasant, doesn't it, as you describe it? But you got to get stuff, make sure that your blood pressure, that your heart's doing okay. This isn't just, something you just go and do. Some people do that, but that's not what the context in which I'm discussing that is not that. And please hear me, I'm not saying go out and do this because there's a lot of discussion about, me as a clinician could get in trouble just from referring somebody to do that if something goes awry. So this is about me educating you so that you can then go, I'm only educating you a little bit, but then go do your research and homework. And so there's a lot of places that have popped up where they go do retreats, and maybe there's a lot of people there at once. And if you're doing this seminar, I would say to you, I would encourage you to steer away from something like that. This is more of a one-on-one, or actually typically it's 2 therapists and 1 client, and that's just to keep you safe. And generally it would be like 1 female and 1 male clinician, because I wouldn't really recommend you to go in and be alone with just a person that you don't know, or I mean, you're under the influence, so things can happen. Things have happened. Okay. So not that every person's going to be inappropriate, but there are, as you can imagine, there are people who've taken advantage of people. So I want to make sure it's a situation, when you look at this, is that you do your homework, you don't just go to any person, and that you're in a safe environment. So the environment being safe in regards to, usually the setup is there's kind of like a couch or a bed that the person's laying on. There's blankets, there might be an eye mask, but you're in a room. It's not like there's, your access to a balcony that's high up, or a swimming pool or something. You're just going to kind of go and run out, but that you're in a safe environment. And what they often talk about is the setting, the intention, and there's another one too: setting, intention. Yeah, setting, intention. And so you want to make sure it's a safe environment. And so the setting is, what kind of setting is it? Am I in a safe environment? Is that where this is? Because this is like doing some deep work. We're not just, when somebody's doing this, it's not just about getting high and, experiencing some psychedelic experience. It's about processing through some things. Okay. Now, and so you set the intention. I want to work on being free of anxiety. And if I were to find one word, it might be freedom, it might be peace, whatever it is, whatever that is, self-esteem, high self-esteem, confidence. I've had people that I work with when I'm doing hypnotherapy, and we set a target of what we want to do, that comes even when they have the anxiety. So setting that intention, working on stuff. And so I've also seen some clinicians where they'll work for months at a time before they even get to the point where they're going to be doing perhaps the MDMA or the psilocybin. So there's a lot of steps in between here and here for this like therapeutic context of what we're discussing. And with the mushrooms also, there's like a microdosing thing that people have started to do that kind of acts like a mild, or not a mild, but like an antidepressant without all the extra side effects of things too. Again, with this isn't something I say, I'll go out and just do. You need to make sure that that it's going to be right for your body, that the strain is the correct one, that the dosage is the correct one. And with all of this, I just want to open your eyes to the possibilities of certain things, but also making sure that if this is a journey that you go on. So right now in California, where we are at, ketamine, there's ketamine infusion places. There's actually one right down like a building over from where I am. I have the intention to go over there and interview them and bring them on here so they can talk about the work that they do and how it helps individuals, where it's contraindicated, meaning who wouldn't be a good fit for that and who would be a good fit, and just how it all works. So my aim to do that. With some of the other ones right now, there's a lot of places that are kind of on the DL doing that. There are other states in the US that it is legal to do the psilocybin and, the psychedelic assisted therapy. So that's what that's called. So usually from what I learned, it would be like a psychiatrist. So somebody who's like an MD trained specifically for, this type of stuff, who's going to be working an adjunct with a therapist so you have that support through it. Because otherwise, even if somebody goes to a big event where there's, 4, 5, 10, 15 or more people who are on this journey as well, you're not going to be getting the attention that you need for that and the support. If you go through a scary portion, if you go through, just whatever, you need that comfort and support. And there's also the psychedelic assisted therapy also has like this process afterwards of processing what happened. And it could be months of processing what that experience was, what you saw, what insight you gained, dreams afterwards, just kind of taking away from there. So this isn't just like a one and done thing. And then like, oh, I did some mushrooms and now I'm healed. It's like it's a whole process. So I just want to kind of open your mind a little bit to it. And, I want to say a PSA, if there's somebody younger watching this as well, this isn't just about like, okay, go drop some acid and everything will be cool. There can be some really, really gnarly experiences. There can be some very, very scary experiences. And it's about being able, one of the things that they talk with you about when you do this and you've got that therapist working with you is being able to work through some of the scary and dark stuff as well. And that's part of this journey. And you know that you have that support through something like that. And also, again, it's about keeping you safe. That's really important, because when you are under the influence of a psychedelic, you know, you might think that you could fly. So you want to make sure that you are kept in a safe environment when that, if something like that were to happen. But there's a lot of working up to, a lot of working through, and a lot of work afterwards. And again, as we continue through, there's a place called MAPS up in Northern California that they're doing a lot of studies. So the FDA has given them approval to do these studies. So people sign up, and that I'll put a link there too, because you could even possibly get on a waiting list to be in part of one of their studies, to be part of it. Again, it's a whole buildup and a workup support getting you to there. It might not happen for months or even years, but it's something working towards that. And so they're really working on towards creating a change with this and being able to incorporate more of this and see it as plant medicine. Obviously the ketamine and, you know, the LSD, I forget exactly how it's made. If you watch that whole How to Change Your Mind, they kind of talk more about how they even discovered it. That's more of a synthetic. But either way, the plant medicine, these routes of the psychedelics, there's a lot of research to show that it's been profoundly helpful and healing, but it comes with a whole package of stuff that I really want you to pay attention to and understand. So you've got the safety, the setting, the intention, and there's another one, like making sure that you just have like that comfort, that caring. So I've done some of the training for the psychedelic assisted therapy. So for the therapists who are going to be working with somebody in that setting, maybe not be administering it, but being there and just that comfort and providing that caring and being in an environment where you feel like you can empathize and you're just going to be safe. That's a very, very important thing. So that's kind of just some basics of it. And my intention at some point is to bring some videos on here interviewing people who do this type of work and how it's beneficial and how it works. So what I can, commit that I'm going to steadfastly work towards is getting the ketamine infusion, because that is legal here in California. So to be able to talk about that, and maybe I can get on some other people talking about the other elements of it too, and just finding out, because if it is in another state or if it's another country, it's still information for you if that's a possibility. So I know we will turn over every stone that we can to heal. And I just wanted to share this part as well, because it has been very beneficial for a lot of people. Okay, thank you.